All right, y'all, here we go with another episode of 3-Star My Bag. This one's going to be featuring the bag of DGV player Gusondemand. And this one's going to be a little different because he asked me to do the daily challenge instead of one of the courses. So I was hoping to get this posted last night, but here we go nonetheless. So Gusondemand, I asked him about the name. His name's Chris, but actually everyone in real life calls him Gus. So that's his nickname, to the point where his own kid even didn't know his real name was Chris for a while. And then On Demand, he's a tattoo artist in real life, and he thought that would go good, for his business, just on demand, make him look available for appointments and whatnot. So that's where we get Gus On Demand. So here we go with his bag. Decided to do this daily challenge with his bag. Again, I wish I would have got it last night so he'd have more time if he was wanting to grind it. But nonetheless, let's take a look at his bag and then my copy of his bag. So as far as starting with the putters, he has the Hope and the Sky God. So the Sky God I didn't have, but looking at the numbers, the P2 had the exact same flight characteristics, so that's why I threw that in the bag. P2 is a little more stable than the Hope, and that's why he likes that combination. I still prefer the little bit more overstability with the Harp, but definitely a good combination there. I really like his mid-range combination between the MD1 and the Trust. A lot of people prefer a windbreak for one of those, but I think you can do just fine with both of those. Accurate glide. Fairway slot, I was a little confused by the Water Skip Explorer, as I mentioned in the previous video, and then the Big Skip Glory. I'm curious if he has some lines for both of those. If so, then obviously it's good to have more options for ace lines, but I would prefer that Explorer be a roll. And then I'm just not super familiar with the Glory, especially a Big Skip Glory, but I think you might be missing an opportunity there for like a nice ace run disc, like some sort of roll Sapphire or PD or Musket, something to replace that Glory. But that's my opinion there. Into the main bag there, he's got the Sampo Water Skip. Again, that's a bag or a disc I didn't have, so I put the closest thing next to it, which is the Windbreak. A lot of people love the Sampo, awesome disc. So nothing really to harp on there. I'm sure there's some nice holes that he can use that Water Skip on. Ikigai Springs 8 is like the main one that comes out, and then what is it? Grizzly Gulch 9 is also a great hole to have that disc on. Flow is an awesome disc as well. Again, between his fairway slots and then his main bag, I just think he's missing an opportunity to have a roll disc just for some good ace runs so it doesn't go too far past the basket. He does have that Grace Accurate Skip, which is an awesome disc. A lot of people love that. I wish I had it in the bag so I can switch between that and my Sapphire Skip, but unfortunately I only have spot for one, but that's an awesome disc. A lot of ace runs you can do with that disc. He has the Glide Skip Rive, the Glide Roll Rive, and then the Water Skip Rive. So solid collection there. And then he has the Glide Skip Captain, which is an awesome skippy flippy driver. I've never been a big fan of the Captain, but it is a great disc. I prefer the Paradigm in that kind of category, but a lot of people do really well with the Captain. And then that Sword is another awesome disc. I feel like it's kind of comparable to the Sapphire, maybe a little longer than the Sapphire, but you can do a lot of the similar types of things that you can do with the Glide Sapphire with that Windbreak Glide Sword. The only downside to that and comparing those two is that the Sapphire is an accurate disc and the Sword is a distance driver technically, so it's not going to be as accurate as the Sapphire, even though it might cover a little bit more distance. So yeah, overall great bag. Little nitpicky things, again, that Water Skip Explorer, the Big Skip Glory, I would just try to find a more accurate fairway. Other than that, very usable bag. I'm excited to try this out. I'm going to try to throw each of the discs if possible during this daily challenge round. We'll see if we can do that, but without further ado, let's get into the daily challenge for today. Here we go with the layout. We got Highlanders Ridge, Frozen Valley, and Grizzly Gulch, so some fun holes. Always in that first hole you want to start off by getting an ace or eagle or whatever the best score is without having to grind it too hard. So with this one, with it being Highlander Ridge, Definitely a lot of different ways to get this hole. This is a fun way that some people have found. I hadn't thrown this one yet, so I wanted to try it out. We're going to try it under the bridge. And this is his water skip rive. And this is an awesome, fun shot. You can see I was able to pop up there, get the tap in, start off with a tap in eagle. This next hole, I wanted to go eagle ace, so we're going to try this line out with the sword forehand. We're going to put the top chevron right there on the basket and then pretty much a straight pull. And if you hit it just right, get it lined up. Oh yeah, that's it. Just like that. No! Are you serious? Just got robbed, man. That should have, we're counting that one. It's risky because you're going long, but it's only hole 2, and the first hole isn't too hard to get, so that's why I wanted to run that one. This one we're going with the Sampo. When I was practicing this line, I wasn't too fond of the Sampo on this hole. It just doesn't seem to get very friendly kicks off. Oh, doesn't get to get as very friendly kicks off the side there. So I'm not as big of a fan as I am with the Musket or the Sapphire on that hole there, but it worked out. This one, I usually throw Sapphire, but we're going to get a little aggressive, throw my turn glide line. This is the Captain. Perfect wind for something like this. It's going to turn into the wind and then stay pretty straight for me. Captain's so cool in the air. This is a great looking drive, right in the middle. A drive like this will get you, at least get you a shot at throwing in for eagle. Not a big tailwind, so it's hard to get it anywhere close to the basket, but we can at least get it up there. This is a hole where it's really nice to have a straight skippy flippy driver like this or the Paradigm, because it makes this second shot so much easier than what I'm used to, having to throw something more stable. 270. Let's see if we can give this a run. Let's try maybe the flow on a forehand. I think that seems about the right distance. See if we can give this a little bit of a run. Be nice to get this one after that spit out on 2. That was brutal. Oh, I almost threw back in. Oh man, that was on a perfect line. Just dropped too early. So we're unable to capitalize there, get the eagle. All right, next hole. This is a tough one to ace. I'm gonna go with the Grace. If you hit it just right, it has just the distance to skip up and in. It's a very dangerous line. Oh, this looks good. Dang it, just needed to hit up the hill just a tad more. That's a tough line to hit, 'cause if you go too far right, you're OB. If you go too far left, then you can kick and go OB, so it's hard. But this one is a line I don't really throw. This is glide skip rive in this wind. Kind of a straight pull down on this left side of the tree here. And if you can land just short of the basket, maybe. Oh, it's going to miss right. Dang, that one looked good too. You can see the potential of some of these lines. It's just hard in the daily challenge to really stack them together. And that's why it really is a grind. Once you find your lines, you got to just grind it out till you can get a really good score. But I didn't have the time to really do it, so that's why I'm moving on, not restarting. We're going to go big glide skip rive around the trees here. Oh, come on, fade for me. Dang it. Not quite the fade I wanted. Really close to being good, just a little more early fade, and we would have skipped up the hill there. 212. We haven't thrown the Glory yet, so let's try this out. Let's try to land it short and skip it in. I'm trying to throw all of his discs just to get a feel for what they can do and why he might have them in the bag. Oh, shoot, we got lucky. I liked the idea there with that disc. Pretty good distance for it. Just didn't quite execute. Needed to turn it and have a little more height on that shot. So we don't have the greatest round going, but just showing some good lines for you. This one, you can sometimes drop this in with the glide roll ride with the big Anheuser. And if you get it just to the right, this is left. If you get it just to the right of that green tree there, then sometimes it'll drop right into the basket, but it's a super hard shot to hit. This is not one that people ace very often, and I'm not going to grind for it, especially on hole 8. That's just kind of luck of the draw. You might get it to fall. And then the last hole, I didn't really love any of my discs for this hole, but I think the flow might get it there. I like to go Waterskip Vandal or PD or Roll Sapphire. Those are all my ace discs for this hole, but I think the flow, it's just a tough wind for this hole too. This is a similar line to what I usually throw. I'm just going to make sure I put some hyzer on this. And maybe, oh, it's going to hyzer out on me. And I think it would have been short anyway. I think that flow would have struggled getting there. Same with the Sampo in that wind. Just needed a little more disc than what I had. Maybe the sword. I didn't really even try the sword, but that probably would have been a good option on that hole. But there you go. There's the daily challenge. We'll take a look at the leaderboard. I'm sure there's a few that have at least one more stroke than that. At least. Maybe 2 strokes. But pretty tough layout to get a really low score. That spit out, we're going to still count the spit out on that second hole. So we're going to say we got 12 under. That would have put us in the lead. A few people with the 12 under. 13 is going to be tough on that layout. But we got 11. Had the spit out on 2. But that was fun. Something a little different. Didn't really 3-star, but we did get the diamond for Gusondemand. As always, guys, appreciate the support. And thanks for watching me play some DGV.